Oh, hold on here a second.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. All right. I was like, I wanted to make sure I was unmuted and I accidentally hit my camera. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Nobody wants to see me today, not after my day. Okay, guys, just to give you an update. So, just to kind of clarify everything so everybody understands, I don't know how long all of you have been involved with MoveQuest. This is something that has never, ever, ever been done. And it would take a lot of time, a lot of brain power and work for another person to put this together. You see these crypto projects that come up on the fly almost, and they go down just as fast because they don't take the time to build that project the right way. This project is so complex. We're literally almost pushing 2 million lines of code in this project. The amount of, processing that has to take place between all of these smart contracts and blockchain really is not designed um, to handle large amounts of data processing and retrieval and that stuff. Here, let me, guys, I got to shut down Discord because it's got a bunch of beeping going on in my background. Hang on here a second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, that'll help. So anyway, I'm excited about that. But along with being the first to market with something like this, there's challenges that come with it. And all of you know that we're in the process of doing a rebranding and to bring a lot more simplicity to the setup for the app. But in order to do that, we had to rebuild the entire core foundation of this project to be able to handle a lot more features that we are introducing and bringing to the community. That's going to give you a lot more engagement within the application, the challenges, being able to create those challenges, being able to join challenges, and being able to lease out your miners. You know, that that's a big, big piece, I think, the leasing of the miners. And I'm going to explain to you why here in a minute. But this update that was done today, everybody needs to do that. Um, we might be behind on our projection dates. I have absolutely no control over that. I am not a developer. I do no coding whatsoever. What little bit I do understand is only enough to screw everything up. I couldn't even begin to do anything in this application. It's that advanced in the development and the coding of this project. So I just patiently wait for the devs and the designers to get everything done. And they run into bugs. This update was critical. And so much stress today, knowing that it was getting ready to go live because what you don't see with that update is all the core uh, functions, all of the processing, the code that goes into all of the new features that we're bringing into with the new branded app. And honestly, we all were sitting here today on pins and needles. We're like, oh my God, if just one thing, one little tiny thing is out of place, one little piece of code is wrong, could bring this whole thing down for days. Ah, all day long we were stressed. That's why I said I'm not getting in front of a camera today at all. The pressure was crazy. So we got all the validation and everything from the app stores and um, pushed the update and it went seamless. There was not one single issue. So we're very we're very thorough in our testing when we do these updates, especially when we're doing something to this level. This is huge. What we're, all these features that we're bringing in. You're talking about thousands of people that will be leasing, thousands of miners, people that will be creating challenges, and at some point, hundreds of thousands of people that will be involved in these challenges, in the leasing. And so we had to make sure that everything is going to work seamlessly. The last thing you want to do is have a community of 1 million or 2 million people, and then all of a sudden a bug, pops up and then you have issues. So this update went through without a hitch, and we are so happy about that. You guys have no idea all the pressure and stress leading up to this. Corey and Herschel and Ken and Mike and Brian and uh, Crypto Pays Me Daily, Quentin, Corey, all of these guys can tell you, Brandon, the stress that's been in the group where we, kind of communicate so they know what to take back to you guys was over the top. It has been probably for the last couple of weeks getting all this prepared. So when you guys go do the update, you'll notice that the fees have been updated. So when we first completed the fees piece, the market value of the token was much higher. And so it was reflecting that tier, but we had to get the update in before we could adjust that tier. That way we didn't have to retest because we knew if it went in and there was no issue, then we would be able to just go in and adjust the tier, no problem, or add that additional tier to the fees sliding scale. And so that's why when you first updated and you've seen the higher fee that was at the fee tier when the market value of the token was at the 50 to that $100 range. That would be the fee structure for that market value of the token. So we had to go in and do that, but we didn't want to have to add it and then go through this testing, phase again. Just get the update in. It went without a hitch, add the tier. It was so much easier to do it that way. So if you guys have downloaded or uploaded the update and you were kind of thrown by the fees, you can go back and look now and it has updated. So that and they've dropped tremendously. So I know that my calculations are going to be off by just a few cents because I've rounded everything up, but I'll just give you an idea of what they currently are at this tier. So if you have Omegas, those are at about 53 to 55 cents. They'll fluctuate just a tad depending on AVAX. So don't hold me right to the penny because I'm using two decimals and I believe the developers use six decimals because of AVAX using the six decimals. Alphas are in the 25 to 28 cent range. Ultras, they're going to be 20 to, I don't know, probably 22 cents per miner. Your primaries are going to fluctuate between the 13 and 15 cent at this market value. And then your Lennies are, 7 cents, maybe 8 or 9 cents, depending on AVAX and that decimal, the difference in the decimals between my calculations and the devs calculations. So that's a significant drop um, compared to what they were, but it still keeps it at a level for stability in the liquidity. Now, that's going to lead me into the liquidity. And I'm just going to be real frank on this call because, we've got I call them bottom feeders, they're armchair critics. They, and I don't like using well, I guess I do. I just kind of say it like it is, you guys can't fix stupid. Stupid is stupid. I mean, it's just all there is to it. If people don't do, if they claim to be a critic, right? Or an Avenger like this guy, this Dan DeHeck that all of you guys see here and there. I mean, he's like the worst of the worst. He's breaking into our Telegram groups. You guys be careful whatever you do because he changed him and his group of people, they changed their profiles. And I really believe they're the ones that are in these Telegram groups scamming and taking your MoveQuest because we've never seen anything like this until they started breaking into our Zooms, changing their profiles on their Zooms. And I think what they're trying to do is basically make you guys feel like, the security of our app is not where it should be, but that has nothing to do with it. When you click on a link or when you communicate with somebody who's pretending to be one of our admins and they've, duplicated somebody's profile and they do it all the time. I mean, they put it right on their videos that they hack and do this stuff. You got to be so careful. Our security of our app is top notch. So they're not getting to your tokens because of a breach in our system. They're getting to your tokens because you guys are communicating with people who are pretending to be us. Now, I'm not saying 100% that it's them, but up until this cyberbullying and harassment and stalking and, that this creepy creature is doing, we weren't having these issues, okay, in our telegrams and in our discords. So I just want you guys to be really careful. Be careful who you're communicating with. Make sure it's really one of us. They what they do is they create these fake profiles and then they portray to be one of our customer support or one of our admins that are here to help you guys or keep you up to date. Just because they say it's one of us, it's not. I'm going to tell you guys, we are not going to direct message you and ask you to talk about the security of your wallet. We're not going to ask you personal questions, about yourself or any of your level of finances, or how to, are you having problems with your wallet, or here, go click on this link because we've got rewards for you. You guys, that's not us. Okay. We don't do that. There are no rewards here. You don't have, any of these crazy credits and things that these scammers are claiming when they pretend to be one of us. Just, you know what our channels are. Make sure when you're communicating that you've really got one of us. And if you don't trust who you're talking to, have them call you on video. Guarantee you it won't happen. In fact, they'll probably disappear right away. Just be really careful. I'm not sure why we're being targeted right now. I think when you have something that's really amazing that nobody's ever done before, you're going to have to expect, that this kind of stuff is going to come at you. But it's like over the top. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. But what really excites me about this, more so than, all the challenges and, they're so annoying. What we have is remarkable. It's never been done before in the history of crypto. There's no projects that have done this, literally, that has a self-funding ecosystem that doesn't require, this influx of new money to stay stable. Yes, are we a new project that just launched on the Avalanche chain? 100%. Are we building our community? Absolutely, we are. There's nothing wrong with that. But does it need that new influx of money? No, it doesn't. And this is where that leasing comes in, because we can still build our community by leasing out these miners. Okay, that means that you've got an inventory of miners. You can charge a rental fee, and then another person gets to basically stake to that miner. And now they're using your miner to mine the MoveQuest token from their proof of physical activity. They get the tokens that they mined, and you get a rental fee. And even that is completely regulatory compliant, because you're not taking a percentage of their MoveQuest that they've mined from their proof of physical activity. You're just charging a flat rental fee for that miner. And so even at that level, you're still not profiting off of the work of somebody else. So there's some really clear distinctions here that you guys need to understand with this project. But that leasing piece is a big deal, because let's say we get to 25,000 users as an example. Okay. And let's say it just, like, we're kind of at this lulled moment right now. That's normal with crypto. Tokens go up and tokens go down. Tokens go up when there's a demand, and tokens come down when there's not a demand. Right now, the majority of our community is waiting on the new app to come out, because it'll be so much easier for you to explain it. It'll be so much easier for a person to get started. It just kind of walks them right through the process. It's not like you have to sit there and spend an hour or two to help somebody onboard. It's going to make it so much simpler for you to share the application. But let's just say, for example, we get to a certain level of people in the community and it goes through another lull. What happened? And we're new. Okay, you guys understand. We've been listed for about 103 days, 104 days. This project has done phenomenal, even at the market value of the token now. Look at Bitcoin when it went up to, $60, $100. It took almost 3 years for it to go there. But then it dropped down. Look at when it went to $25,000, and then it dropped down to 8,000. It stayed there for 3 years. This is normal in crypto. We've done exceptionally well because we did go to that $110 mark, but that's excitement about the app. That's a lot of people getting involved, getting started with the mining process. And so you've seen that drive up in that market value. But then if the community slows down and they're waiting for the new rebranded app to come out before they start sharing again, you're not seeing the demand for the MoveQuest token. Well, if you don't see a demand there for the MoveQuest token, then it'll start to come down. What I want to talk to you about is the stability of that liquidity pool. So I'm going to share my screen here for just a moment, because I want to share this so you guys will kind of understand what I'm talking about. So we're going to look at the tokenomics of MoveQuest. We have a max supply of 21 million, and we follow the Bitcoin tokenomics. So this is MoveQuest right here. Okay. 2.6 million per year. And this is what Bitcoin did. You can see right here, 2,628,000 for the first 4 years went out in circulation. Here's the amount that goes out. And it took their first year, there was less than 1,000 wallet holders who had that amount of Bitcoin. And then the second year, there was a few thousand wallets. The third year, there were tens of thousands of wallets. And then by the fourth year, there was over 1 million wallets that were holding Bitcoin. And then it went through its halving and it was only doing 1.3 million per year. Where now when you start getting down here, in the years, let's see where we at. The year 20, we're in 2024. There's only 328,500 Bitcoin that's being mined each year. And so there's 19,710 million Bitcoin that is in circulation out of that 21 million. So we are following, we're mirroring their tokenomics. The difference is that for the first year, we're not doing the full 2.6. It's 2.3 because there was 300,000, 320,000 right here that went into the liquidity raise and then the liquidity pair. And so there's 5,447 per day that can go out in distribution. However, only 50% of that is going out right now. So every day, whatever you mine, you can double it because it's in a reserve. Why? Because we're still building a community. Imagine if we had double of those tokens out there right now before the community reached a certain level of users, then it would be half of what the market value is right now. Okay, so what we're doing is it's in that reserve. So our tokenomics are a bit different in the first year. There's a gradual release of those additional tokens. So that is very powerful, really, for all of you here, because as this is building and growing again, and it's starting to reach those higher levels in that token, you're going to have all those move quests, and it's going to be at a much higher market value because it would need for it to be on for those to be released 10 million in the liquidity pool. That means that the market value of the token is well over the $150 to $200 mark. Okay, so all those tokens that are in reserve in that reserve contract, when those are released, it has a much higher value. So that's the upside to the difference in our tokenomics, okay, to what Bitcoins are. Next, we're looking at this is the max supply. This is what's in the vault currently. So there's a total of 445,433 MoveQuest in circulation, but 155,731 of those are in smart contracts. So the users are holding 289,000 of these MoveQuest tokens. 383 were sent to the MoveQuest smart contract. Those can never be retrieved. We renounced that contract. So that's like a burning of those MoveQuests. You'll never see those again. They're gone. The liquidity pool currently has 59,000 or 52,985 MoveQuests. Generally, that liquidity pool would only have about 24,000 MoveQuests to the USDT. Now, with the ecosystem, the self-funding ecosystem, the project itself, right, the evolution, the submission, the algorithm that it uses, it doesn't drive the market value up when when the selling pressure is high. It just won't do it because it's not it's not positive for the project. It's not positive for the community because then all you're doing is pumping up the price for people to sell. And that's why it doesn't do that. But it does work with a healthy buying selling market because it has to have MoveQuest. But the ecosystem, it's already purchased over 250,000 of these MoveQuest tokens when there was that healthy buyer sell. Okay, so the project itself won't drive up the price. Okay, the community has to drive up the price. When the community is driving up the price because there's a demand there, then the ecosystem will start to contribute the same way. It never sells MoveQuest. The project can never sell MoveQuest, ever, ever, ever. So you'll never see the project itself bringing down the price of MoveQuest. And this is what some of your armchair critics, they don't really understand how the system works. So there's no manipulation there. It can buy because it has to have MoveQuest to pair to the USDT that's coming in from leveling up your miners to higher powered miners. So it can buy the MoveQuest so it can pair it to the USDT, but it never sells MoveQuest for USDT. So you'll never see the ecosystem selling that MoveQuest. Then we've got 260 MoveQuests that are in the mining contract. That goes towards liquidity. There's 3,201 MoveQuest in the comp plan. Those are people that still need to claim MoveQuest that they've earned when they share the project, and you get a percentage um, of the MoveQuest from the sale. So like if you shared it with somebody, you get a 10% commission, a direct commission on that person that you shared it with who came in and minted their miners. Same thing with the evolution contract. For those of you that may or may not know that, you also get that 10% direct commission on those evolutions as well. The evolution contract is holding 1,064 MoveQuest. That's all that's connected to the evolution contract. That's also used to pair to USDT to add as liquidity. Those of you who are missing some MoveQuest from claims at the tail end of the day, my calendar was set off by several hours, and so the deposit of MoveQuest to go into the airdrop was off. And so some of you went to claim, but that deposit hadn't quite made it there. I don't know if the time change messed it up or what happened, but anyway, that MoveQuest has been deposited into that airdrop, and tomorrow you will receive those. So if you guys claimed MoveQuest and you didn't get it yesterday, that's why. The airdrop uh, the alarm or whatever you want to call it to have that MoveQuest go into that contract. It was off by actually several hours. And so anyway, there's a handful of you that didn't get those. So don't worry about it. We already know that that happened, and the developers are already in the process of getting that pulled, retrieved, and sent off to your wallets. So that's how many MoveQuest are currently in the airdrop for distribution. It's increased quite a bit. Normally, there's only 35,000 at a time put in, but it was 100,000. So this is where we get this total circulating number, okay, of 445,434 MoveQuest in circulation. Total in contracts, that 155, that's adding all of these up because these are not MoveQuest that's being sold. They're in the liquidity pool. They have to be bought. They've already been sold. So these are not MoveQuests that can be sold. The 289,703, those are being held by wallets, and those can be sold on the market. And that's why that figure is there and deducted from here. It kind of gives you a breakdown as to what's here. These you don't have to worry about being sold. They're not going against the market. These here could be sold, and they would have an impact on the market value. So when you take the MoveQuest that's in the liquidity pool, pair it to the USDT that's in the liquidity pool, it gives you the total market value that the token is currently. So when you look at this down here, I'm going to give you a couple of different scenarios, and I take it down because really kind of the floor price is about $8.62. So when you look at if, let's say, out of, the community, let's say another amount, it sells down, there's 103,753 MoveQuest in that pool. To keep it at that $8.62 range, and to keep it close to this fully diluted market value, this is what it needs to have to be to have a fully fluid pool. Those of you who are here who've been in crypto or have done any kind of other, trading or, watched markets, anybody ever see a pool that was fluid? And what that means is that of the tokens that are in circulation could be sold for the market value of that token, meaning every single one of them could be sold for the market value of that token. So we're actually doing very good. So I know I've told people this market decline in the market value of the token, it's not a disappointment. Do you really want to see people, sell and not hold their tokens? No, you have to understand, guys, this is under 110 days of being listed. So it's really not that this project hasn't gotten to that point where it's like everyday bill paying money. We're still building that stable market value, getting that liquidity pool to be stable. Some people don't understand that concept. That's fine. They're selling. That's great. Whatever they want to do. We don't we don't get financial advice. But you do have to kind of think, okay, it's a baby project. It's just been listed and it's done really, really well. Okay. You still go look at Step In, who's been around for how many years? Hundreds of millions of dollars has run um, through the creators' pockets and profits, and hundreds and millions of dollars in the liquidity pool, and they still can't get over 15, 16 cents. Most of your projects don't see the market value of this token, and it's because of the self-funding ecosystem. So when the community is actively building, and sharing this project, yeah, you see the demand in the MoveQuest token. When we listed that day for $1, it took 3,500 people coming into the community and minting their miners and evolving to drive the market value up to $110. It's no different today. At the $8 or $11.28, if another 3,500 people that we share it with minted their miners and evolved, it would drive it up higher than that $110 because at that point, now you've got a community of 7,000 people. So when the demand is there, the market value goes up. The stability of the ecosystem. This is what I want you guys to really kind of understand. I'm going to use this as an example, the $8.62. So currently, because you don't see the ecosystem driving up the market, and it won't. It's not part of that algorithm because the community isn't building that market value up itself. The project itself won't drive up that market value. That would be completely insane to do that. It's one thing when the project and the community is busy and they're sharing and it's growing and you see the market value of the token go up because it has to buy the Move Quest to keep up with it, right? But it doesn't, you don't want the project itself to drive it up to motivate the sellers to sell it at a higher price and just basically, milk the liquidity pool. So the algorithm isn't set to do that. It's not going to drive it up. It won't drive it up. The community has to get to work for the evolution contract to do the drive up of the market. But what it will do is it will stabilize the liquidity pool. So think about it like this. As the market is dropping or people are selling, if the community isn't actively, sharing the project, which at the baby level, I'm not shy about it. That's what needs to be done. We need to be out there sharing it and, explaining how this all works so people understand it, and you'll see that market drive up. But because we have about 5,000 people right now currently in the community, it needs to stabilize. It needs to stable into where the community, if that's what they want to do, is sell every day, that stabilized level, that market value that's stable, meaning the ecosystem is able to add that liquidity based on the engagement within the application to maintain that market value that's stable, almost fluid. That's what we're looking for, almost fluid. So when you look here, it needs the 2,071,000 to be fluid. That means it's approximately right now, current liquid USDT. This is what it's short. Okay, 296,000 to be at this level, 893,000. You see the difference? 893,000 to 103,000 MoveQuest tokens would put us at a fluid level. But right now, the pool would need this 148,196. So it is sitting on that liquidity. It's 23,000 short from being fluid if there was this much MoveQuest in that pool. Now, it could also look a little different. It could just have 69,598 with 599,000 of the USDT. So to be fully diluted, a fully diluted market value, an FDV of 2,236,000. Okay, that's what it would be fully diluted. Fully fluid. That means everybody could cash out at the $8.62. So we're not far from having that fluid pool. And so basically, this is kind of what the algorithm is basing its figures on right now. I'm just giving you guys an update. It's all transparent. It's all in blockchain. There's no secret here. I'm explaining to you what this liquidity pool does. And this would be pulling out another 50,000, 43, let's see, 47, yeah, 47,000 MoveQuest. Because right now, currently, the liquidity pool is holding 42, almost, or 52, almost 53,000. So it's about 47,000 short of what this is. So if people sold another 47,000 MoveQuest and we had 103,000 in the pool, 893,000 USDT, and it's fluid. That means everybody can sell at $8.62. So this is good because while people are selling, it's not really driving the market down. And if people are building, it's driving that market up. And so now you know that you've got a base floor right there. You've got a bottom to what the market value of this token is. So this is very strong token, very, very strong. And it's nothing to be concerned about. It's actually making it more healthy for the long-term future. This is actually a very good thing because let me show you what it did look like. Okay. Um, if you put in the 24,000 MoveQuest, and then we had, it was about 2 million. 1, 2, 3. So the community is really over, really, 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 really oversold the token. Do you see how much we needed to be fluid? $22,557,000 to be fluid. That's not a great place. It's great to see the $83 token value. It's great to see that $100 token value, but you really want that pool to be stable, to be fluid. And so it's normal in any project. When you first launch and everybody's getting excited and they're getting started and they're moving, that market value goes up. But very rarely do you ever see it become fluid. Why? Because we've got a self-sustaining ecosystem. When you look at other projects and their token comes down, guess what? They don't have any liquidity provision. There's no liquidity that's going back into that pool. When it's gone, it's gone. It's just gone. And it just keeps dropping, 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 dropping. But because of the ecosystem, every time you submit, every time you claim, every time you evolve your miner, every time you dock your miner, every time you create a challenge, join a challenge, lease a miner, all of these things inside the ecosystem, it becomes liquidity and it goes into the pool. And so it stabilizes that market value. So you're not seeing a whole lot of activity in that liquidity pool right now because it's really waiting for that selling pressure to stop or to slow down and to start seeing the market come back up a bit. Then it's going to come in and it's going to stabilize that pool. And that's what we all want anyway. And that's part of the algorithm. So the closer we get to the pool being fluid, the more stable the project is, the more longevity of any market value of the token is there in place, whether it's up or whether it's going down, because you've got this bottom floor price because that fluid pool is there and you've got that liquidity that's coming in every day. So this gives you an idea of how this works. I'm going to show you because we got the submission. Let me just bring this up real quick. Is this the right one? Yeah. There. I'm just going to kind of show you like when the market value gets to 300. Is this $300? Yeah, $300. Okay. MoveQuest is at $300. Just the liquidity or just the submissions alone. Of course, we'd have to grow, so we'd have a lot more than this. These are the miners that are currently in the system. It's a little bit higher than that, but not much. So let's say we tripled it by the time to get it to the $300 mark. Okay, let's say instead of 5,000 people in the community, we now have 15,000 people. That's about what it would take to get it up to that $350 mark. You would be looking at more than 200,000 a day going into liquidity from 15,000 people who are here mining just from submissions. And so when we look at the algorithm, most of it is based on that submission fee, literally, because that's the one thing everybody is doing every single day. Every single day, somebody in the community, if you're engaged, you're submitting. So that's the major part of the liquidity provision. And it's almost the whole basis of what the algorithm is banking on are those submissions for that liquidity. The evolution, that's a perk. The mining dock is a perk. The challenges, those are perks. The leasing of the miners, those are all perks. That's all added. You'll never know or be able to project at any given time how many people or how many miners, are going to be evolving or docking, claiming, how many are leasing. You don't know. You can't put a figure on that, but you can look at the wallets that are mining and you can get a pretty good idea of the number that's going to be submitting, and you can base a lot of your projections and the figures to stabilize that market value based on those submissions alone and based on the growth of the community. Everything else is just a plus. Everything else is just bonus for that liquidity pool. And so the fees are actually a pretty important part of that ecosystem when you're submitting to the blockchain, that proof of physical activity. And everything that you do inside this app is that liquidity. So this is, I just really today, I wanted to let you know about the updates, but I really wanted to let people, I really want you guys to understand the liquidity pools, how they really function. It's not really about the market value of the token. What is that liquidity pool value? What's in that liquidity pool? And you have to agree with me. We all love seeing that $80 market value. We love seeing $100 market value, right? But imagine, okay, yes, it was so exciting. We got that market value up. The excitement is there. We did the proof of concept. This is a very solid project. These, that, I don't even want to say his name. I don't even give him kudos or credit by even breathing his name. But when he says this is a Ponzi scheme, it doesn't require new people coming in. If not one single person ever minted a miner and came into our community, once this token levels out at that stable market value with the liquidity, every day that liquidity submission is added. And it's got 250,000 MoveQuest tokens before it ever has to buy another one to add as liquidity. So it's almost giving you double the liquidity because it's already purchased all this backup liquidity when the other selling was going on, when the community was actively buying and selling. And so it's just going to keep adding that liquidity from those submissions, from the challenges. The ecosystem itself will thrive with the current community. So it's settling in to a stable market value based on the size of the community. And this is a very positive thing because I would much rather move up to the $83 mark with being almost fluid because moving up to that 82 or $83 mark, it's going to get you closer to that 12, 13, 14 million, $15 million that's in that liquidity pool where you're almost fluid again at that high market value. Now, when people are selling, it doesn't affect the market value of the price of that token because you've got the liquidity there to support it. So it's not putting the liquidity in at $11 because it hasn't seen the selling pressure reverse. It's not putting it in at $14 because it hasn't seen the selling pressure reverse. It's waiting until that selling pressure stops and then it'll pad it right there. And that means that when people start to sell it at that price, let's say it gets to $10, and let's say at that time, $300,000, $400,000 is added to the liquidity. At that market value, everybody who sells until that $300,000 has been sold or used from the selling of the MoveQuest, would that market value start to go down again? It'll drop like tenths of pennies, but you're not going to see this huge drop, huge drop. Even if somebody was to sell 34, like let's say somebody sold at that market value, so it's a $25,000 sell, right? It's going to drop the price, but not huge because that liquidity is there to pad it. And so that's what the algorithm is waiting for right now, is to see that selling pressure stop. And then for everybody here that is holding, now you know you've got a stable market value that you can actually rely on that has an almost fluid liquidity pool, which means it's stable. And now through the engagement of the ecosystem in the community, you got that liquidity that's going back in there every single day. And it's adding more stability, more stability, more stability. And it's continuing to increase the amount of liquidity that's there. And it just makes it stable and it just sustains itself. So it doesn't require the new users coming in. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. Why? Because it creates a demand for the token. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it's not a requirement because the ecosystem is self-sustained with the size of the community. 5,000 people is not a huge community. Of course, you're not going to be able to maintain at a market value of $83 with a community of 5,000 people. Now, you get a community of 50,000 people, 100,000 people, you're talking about a token that's up in three to 500, six, $700 market value. And it's sustaining itself because it's got that large amount of people that are inside the community and they're engaged. They're submitting that proof of physical activity. They're getting fit. And I know I'm only talking about the financial side of this. Think about the health gains that people are getting. I hear stories every day from people. Some people have lost 100 pounds, 75 pounds, 50 pounds, 5 pounds. I got my sister who's like, gosh, I lost, I can lose I'm losing 3 pounds a week. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. People are feeling much better, much healthier, more energized. The application is proven that it keeps people motivated and incentivized. And it's a very powerful move to earn application that has never been done, never seen on the market with that self-sustaining ecosystem that doesn't rely on that new influx of money coming in. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to drive the market value up. And I just listening to that armchair critic. Well, how come the market's coming down? Okay, if you know anything about crypto, if the demand isn't there for the token, it's not going to go up. It's going to stabilize. You guys have to understand that it's going to stabilize here because it's got a community of 5,000 people. And as the community grows in size, you're going to start to see the market value come up. That's what you're looking for. So I'm really trying to help you guys understand why this liquidity is so important. And when you get involved in these other projects and they don't have that liquidity provision and they just take all of the money that comes in from the project and puts it in their pocket and walks away with millions and millions of your dollars, it's because they don't have a liquidity provision. They don't have an ecosystem. They don't have something that's in place to be self-sustaining. This is a decentralized project. I'm not managing anybody's monies. I'm not managing anybody's funds. You are completely engaging with smart contracts and you're in complete control. And so a small community is going to have a small market value in the token. No shame in that. It's what the community is happy with. If we want a larger market value in the token, we go out and we build the community. This is where the leasing gets really exciting because you can build the community by leasing your miners. What does this mean? Nobody has to mint a miner. They don't have to buy a miner. You're providing them that miner. You can lease it to them for 10 cents a day. You can lease it to them for a nickel a day. You can lease it to them for a penny a day. You have to lease it to them for something because the smart contract has to take that transaction in. And they just connect to your miner and they start mining. They submit their proof of physical activity and they claim their tokens. It's that simple. But they never have to come in and spend any money. So what does that mean? That means you're building the community without a person spending new money to mint a miner. Removes everything that these ridiculous armchair critics are spewing out there about this project. It doesn't take it. It doesn't need the new money. It needs a community of people, an engaged community of people. So even if the existing community of 5,000 people, if never one person come in and minted a miner, but they come in and they lease your miners, they're contributing to the ecosystem. They're mining these tokens. They're engaged in submitting that proof of physical activity. They're claiming their tokens. They're creating challenges. They're joining challenges. They're doing all of these things that are contributing to the ecosystem. They get to take advantage of mining the token, but they didn't have to spend money to come in and do it. They just had to run a miner. So you guys are going to see a global marketplace and you're going to see your own private marketplace. So those of you who are holding your own extra miners that you want to lease, you can lease them out to your own network of people, people that you know, or you can put them at the global market store. And then anybody who comes to get fed will be able to pick and choose the miners that they want to lease. If they don't submit that proof of physical activity, you can pull back that miner, you can end the contract. And these are all smart contracts. Again, everything's managed by smart contracts, completely decentralized. You're in total control. You can end that contract and you can lease it out to somebody else. And there's no limit on the amount of miners. We could have 100,000 miners. We could add 100,000 people to this community and not a single one of them minted a miner. They're just leasing them from the existing community of 5,000. It doesn't take the new money. It does take a healthy community of engaged users, but it doesn't require them to spend the money to mint the miner. It's a beautiful project, you guys. You'll never see anything out there like it because it doesn't exist. This has got all the bells and whistles. You're completely in control. I don't care what the reviews are out there of these idiots that don't know what they're talking about. They haven't educated themselves, and shame on them because you know what? That's malicious and it's very wrong. We have something to be very proud of. I'm very proud of this project, and I am not afraid to say it one little bit. We put 3 years of hard work into the development of this to make sure that everything was done the right way. And you know what? It's going to be the most powerful crypto project on the market. I really believe that within my whole heart. People are getting fit. They're mining tokens, doing what they're already doing with a self-sustaining ecosystem, with a project that is built to last. You don't get any better than that. So hopefully this helps you guys understand exactly what's taking place right now. Don't get discouraged about the market value. This is normal. We've got a community of 5,000 people. Let me tell you what's not normal. To see it stabilize and become fluid. You don't see that. You never see that. Never, never, never. You will see that here. Why? Because you got a self-sustaining ecosystem. You got an engaged community. It will stabilize and it will become nearly fluid. I'm not saying it's going to be 100% fluid, but it'll be pretty darn close, closer than any other crypto project you've seen on the market. Why? Because it's got a self-sustaining ecosystem, because the money stays with the project. It doesn't go into my pocket millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars like all these other projects do. It stays with the project. It's a self-funding ecosystem. 90% stays with the project, as all projects should do. If somebody who creates a project does a good job and they can build a community, they should never need more than 10%. That should be profit enough. How else are you going to stabilize the crypto market? How can you expect a crypto project to work if the community has to provide the liquidity out of their own pockets? Meaning, if I believe in your project, I'm going to add 100,000 in liquidity. Do you think I'm going to leave it there forever? Heck no, I'm not. I'm going to leave it there until I make a little bit of money and I'm going to pull it out. Why? Because it's not my project. I'm not there, to fund that project. I'm there to make money on the transaction fees. We don't have that here. That way, the community doesn't just pull the liquidity at will. Guarantee you right now, if this project was built like all the other ones were, and the community had to create the liquidity pair, add it so you could get those measly transaction fees. And when you've seen the market going down, what do you think those liquidity providers do? They pull it. And then what do you see? You see everybody sell off. And then what do you see? You see a project that's gone and crashed. So the liquidity comes from the engagement of the users. We've built you an amazing app. It's an amazing service. It's an amazing product. You're using it. You're becoming more physically fit. You're becoming healthy. It's life-changing on a level of health. It's life-changing on a level of your personal wealth, whatever that might mean to you. And all of that engagement is supplying that liquidity. It doesn't exist except here. It's a very powerful project. And the ones that want to review it and critique it, they really need to have a better understanding of the crypto space so that they really know what a crypto Ponzi scheme is, because it doesn't exist here. So I know a lot of people are going to say, shh, you shouldn't say that. No, I'm going to say it because this project is so strong and it's so beautiful and it's so wonderful and it's so powerful that we need to tell people, no, you don't get it. You need to understand how this works. It's not what these people that claim to know what they're talking about say that it is. They really need to educate themselves in the crypto space. And it took me many, many years to understand, and I still don't know everything, but I know enough to know what makes it work and what doesn't work. And so hopefully, here I go again, guys. I ramble. I'm a rambling, what do they call it? I'm not a rambling guy, I'm a rambling woman. But hopefully this all makes sense, what I'm saying. I think it's really important to really hammer on the liquidity because you guys got to see the power behind this. This is awesome to see. Yay, it's $83. But this, we weren't even close to that. We're at the $4 million mark. We were worlds away from 22 million. Great market value on the token, but no liquidity to support that market value. It needed the community to grow so that the ecosystem could fund it and get it to that. But the community didn't. It went into a lull. And we know why. It's hard to explain get fit. It's so hard. We know that. It's hard to articulate it. Not only that, it's hard to set people up if you don't really understand it. And a lot of you are new to the crypto space. So with the redo of the app, it walks everybody right through it. Even if you don't have a lot of understanding in the crypto space, it's more, the app itself more holds the hand for that person than requiring you to. Now we'll see when it comes out if it's really as easy as we think it is. It's really difficult to make something easy when you understand it at a different level. So we really tried hard to get it there. And then, the community, it'll be so much easier for you to share it. Then you'll start to see this liquidity come up and it'll be so much more fun to see that price climbing back up to that $100 mark with this amount of liquidity because it's got a larger community. It takes a community. Crypto is peer to peer. If you don't have a large community, if you don't have a large community, peer to peer community, then you're not going to see a market value stay here. It's just never going to stay there. You got to have that larger community. We're growing. But if our community stays the way it is and it hits this market value, okay, that's still good. It's got the FDV that's very powerful. I don't remember how many tokens were in here, but we'll just say 54, I think 54,000, and I think it was close to 600,000 in this pool. Yeah, somewhere in that range. This is so much more doable, don't you think? At this market value, and then go back up and let it stabilize at each one of these levels. So that's my that's my spiel for the night, Ken and Herschel.
Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. Thanks so much, Lynette. Another masterclass, and yeah, one for the record books. This was well done. Well done. Really, really excited. And every time I hear you do this stuff, it just you get these little epiphanies and these aha moments that just make it so much more appealing. Like you just like I knew I was in the right place, but sometimes we just need that little pick me up. And these, for some reason, I mean, I just get I don't know, I get all just feeling good inside again about the decision that I made to make sure that I was here for the long haul, and to have that vision, that you were telling us in the very beginning. This isn't about
Yeah.
30, 90 days from now, 6 months from now. This is about all the way to 2060, whatever that year is you have there. It's like this is here forever.
Yeah,
And it takes
2060,
time.
but you got to remember, I gotta update that because we actually
Yeah.
now have pulled enough. So every time you're like on the commission side, right, when you mint a miner, remember how we said it doesn't ever enter the ecosystem? All that
Right.
does is pull that MoveQuest out and it puts it back in the vault for future years of mining. We
Right.
actually have enough MoveQuest there now to mine until the year 2090.
Oh, wow. There you go. It's
Right.
amazing. It's amazing. Man, we
I won't
really,
even be
really,
here to see it.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, your name and our legacies will carry on, right? They'll
Hmm.
remember us. It'll be something. I know this is globally going to be life changing for people. It already is, and I'm just excited to be a part. So I appreciate you doing what you always do, setting the record straight. Stepping on some toes at the same time, but at the same time,
Yeah.
giving us some vision and giving us some real, just some real hope about just doing the right thing by this project because it's done the right thing to think about it. 15, what, probably close to 15 million now paid out to the
Yeah.
into the homes of people all over the world. Who does that?
Yeah.
Who's ever have you ever been a part of a project that's been able to execute that and still be as successful as this? It just tells you that it's been built the right way. And it's still going to take time for us to believe it because we can go back to, everybody's been through some stuff, right? And it's hard to, picture something actually giving you what you've been looking for. But here it is. And I'm just saying it out loud. This is the one, this is the one. It's
And
set
we
up that
always
way. It's
deliver.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yes, we
absolutely.
always, if we tell you we're going to do something, trust me, we're going to do it. We will never tell you we're going to do something if
Right,
we can't do it. Doesn't
right,
mean that we're going to be right on time because with technology, especially this, you guys, if you understood how complex this is, I mean, first of all, the first clue is that nobody else has done it.
Right.
ever. It's never been done. It's that complex. Um, and it takes a lot of willpower to stick it out and to keep doing it. We always deliver, always. Might
Right.
deliver late, but we always deliver. So those of you who have been in these, others, I will call them ones schemes because they were. If they're not still here today, they were a scheme. They weren't built right and they
Mm,
and they went away. Um, and maybe they didn't intentionally do it that way. I don't think everybody who creates a project intends it to fall apart. I just don't think that they understood what it takes for projects to be stable and to have that self-funding ecosystem that doesn't require that new money coming in, that doesn't have a subscription fee, that doesn't have membership fees, that's completely decentralized, where the user's in total control, doesn't have a custodian who's an intermediary of your money, who's controlling it, who's pushing a button so you can or can't get it. None of that exists here. It's never been done. So the complexity of this is high. And we have to test everything. We have to test. And if something, comes into the code, a bug or a glitch or something that's not right, we got to fix it. And then we got to test all over again. And then once you fix one thing, a bug will pop up somewhere else. And then we got to go through and test and fix and find it. We got to comb through millions, over a million lines, pushing almost 2 million lines of code, to find these little pieces that can make it, not work. And we did run into that with this last update, but we had to update all of these contracts. We had to make them be able to handle all of the data that's coming in and out from these challenges and from leasing and to make sure that everything works seamlessly. And it took longer than we expected. Trust me, you guys, I'm more frustrated. I'm more frustrated than all of you put together, the poor developers. One of them told me today, I think I want to jump off my balcony. I'm like, no, 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 don't do that. I'll leave you alone
oh
because I
boy.
can be really hard. I can be really hard to work for. I'm sure you guys already can figure that out.
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
not real shy and I say things sometimes I shouldn't say. Things just roll right off my tongue. And I really don't care if people like it or not, but I never leave you wondering where you stand.
Right.
I look at it like this time. Don't waste my time. I won't waste your time. I'll say it like it is. You say it like it is. It's the best way to
Mm,
be.
yeah.
But sometimes I got to be more careful because my poor developers, they are amazing, wonderful. The design team, our
Absolutely.
core team. I even get short with you guys in that group. Like I'm telling you guys, take a chill pill when we were trying to do this update. I'm like, I'm not meaning it to be rude, but I really don't know how to say things nicely, calmly, softly. Like I am not a Democrat. I cannot do it. So I just kind of say it like it is. But
Oh boy.
we're there. But rest assured, if we tell you we're going to do something, we do it. We
Mm,
always follow through. We are not that project that hypes something up, tells you we're going to do something, and then you never see it. You absolutely will. We're just not always on time. And we do apologize for that. We do our best.
there you go. Yeah. That's all you can do, right? All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. And we appreciate that. And we know we're really, really close, and we have a special treat for everybody tonight. Any of the other leaders? I know we've got Mr. Crow on, we've got Ryan Rose and Mike Bill, and Crypto Paisley Daily, and probably Chadwick Robinson's on here. All these leaders, incredible people. Anybody from, uh, you know, these incredible people that are leading these chats and hitting up these communities. You want to have anything to add, Mr. Brandon Ivy? Anything you want to add here? I know we're not taking Q&A tonight. I saw Brandon put that no Q&A. If you're raising your hand, put it down. We're not doing that. But if there's any other leaders here that want to add anything or any insight or any feedback, let's do that. And then I have a treat to share with everybody. We have a new trailer, folks. It's going to be exciting. Go ahead. Anybody out there? If not, we'll get right to it.
Not from this end. Not from this end. Lynette did it all.
There you
Go
go.
ahead and show them the trailer. We'll get the recording out so everybody can go back and listen to it again and absorb the information. That's it.
All right. Well, let's get into it. New trailer debuting tonight. I'm hoping I got my sound and everything. Let me make sure I got the sound right. I do not want to do that. Let me stop share. Let me do this right here. Let me do it right. Bear with me here. Share. There you go. Share sound. I think I'm good. All right. Here you go. Let's take a look at what the app is going to look like. Lights, camera, action. All right. I know y'all want to watch it again. So let's play it back. Here we go. Here we go. One more run. And then, of course, this will be available for everybody. So, you can share with your friends and people you've been talking to, etc. Let's get to it. Oh, let me go ahead and put that on that. Hold on, it's granted. There you go. There you go. All right. So of course, the 2 million lines of code, all the technology on the back end, all this work, all this heavy lifting, the brand has to match. That is a incredible trailer there to give you a feel for what the app is going to look and feel like in your hands very, very soon. We're excited about it. Lynette, thanks so much for being on tonight. We'll get this recording out to each and every one of you. I saw Brandon pop on. Brandon, you have anything? I just saw him. I just saw his video pop
And
up.
I want to
Oh,
tell all you guys too, real quick, so you know, I do appreciate all you guys'
absolutely.
patience with us and our core team. You guys, I call them our core team because you guys they put up with me. Brandon, Herschel, Quentin, Mike, Brian, Chad, Corey, Ali, Waleed, all of these guys put up with me.
Yeah.
Marnita, I don't hear too much. She's in that group with us. She just kind of stays quiet. But you guys put up with me, and I appreciate that. I mean, you guys are
Yeah.
great. You guys are real men, let me tell you, because you're putting up with me and you ain't got nothing usually bad to say back at
Yeah.
me. I live
Yeah.
with one that's got a lot to say to me every day. Usually it's
Right.
go in the other room. Would you go that way, will you? Go over there, will you? Get away, get
Right.
away. So
Right.
you guys, I appreciate you. You guys are all wonderful. And the community is amazing. So as long as you guys understand, just be patient. We got 2 to 3 days, I think, really honestly, and we're gonna have something really amazing to show you. At least by the weekend. We're that close. We're that close. This update today was the big deal.
Wow.
That was the
Awesome.
hardest part, getting all that in. So we are well on our way. So all of you are amazing. This entire community is amazing. And my core
Absolutely.
team, you guys are wonderful. Absolutely appreciate you guys.
Well, thank you, Lynette. Yeah, we're just an extension of your energy, your vision, and the heart you have for the community. We know. And like somebody said, we got your back. They said that in the chat earlier. I saw that. It was
Yeah.
awesome. So, and I think that's the extended from out of the core team. There's some really amazing people here, and an incredible community that's starting to really cement itself here, and we're looking forward to it. So, go ahead, Herschel. I heard you saying something there.
Oh no, that's it.
Oh,
Let
we're good.
everybody go. We'll
All
get
right.
this recording out. We'll see you guys next time. Keep
Awesome.
moving, keep
Night,
moving,
everybody.
and submitting. We'll see you
Let's
next
get it.
time.
Good
All
night,
right.
everybody. Bye bye.